Welcome, zingers, to another week episode of the Benzinga Crypto Show. I'm your host, producer Aaron. Aaron, whatever you guys like to call me, you know the drill. Joined with me, as always, is our lovely co-host, Catherine Ross. How are we doing today, Catherine?
We are doing great. By the way, guys, if you're looking at Aaron, he is exhausted.
I was exhausted, but I bring the energy for the show. You know, I gotta be that happy, positive ball of energy for you guys.
If you're trying to bring the energy, this is the way to do it. Put your hands up, everybody.
Okay.
Put your hands in the air. That's the way to do it, actually.
No, that's definitely a great way to wake us up for the show. And you know what did wake me up is, crypto is definitely looking a lot better. Last we looked at it on Tuesday, it wasn't looking so hot, right? It kind of hurt my feelings. I wasn't feeling too great about it, but today we're more optimistic, right?
Are we?
Yeah. So let's pull up the chart. And let's take a look at what the markets is looking like today. So it is not bad. So guys, this is on benzinga.com/market/cryptocurrency. This gives you real-time updates on the markets and the coins that you guys want to see. As you can see, we are having a green day today, which is very nice, refreshing, since the last 2 weeks have been not so hot for, us in the crypto space. Guys, tell me what you guys are excited for with this swing up. Crypto's looking good. Throw it in the chat. Which coins are you most excited about? Which ones are you holding? Which ones are keeping your interest at this time?
Going back to the Green Day comment, right? If you're old enough, you know the band Green Day, and probably some will agree that "Wake Me Up When September Ends" might be a good idea if we're having a very hot summer. And I'm not talking about the weather; I'm talking about the prices. You're actually right. We are looking a lot greener today, and I think, Aaron, that we both need some sleep a little bit later today.
Maybe today, but you know what I told you. Remember what I told you about sleeping and crypto? You don't sleep with crypto. You remember that?
Did I ever do to you? Like, again, almost 5 years in the game. I'm not doing that anymore. I sleep. I understand that you will miss some news. You will actually you're not going to be able to cope with everything that is going on, to deal with everything that's going on. So yeah, we are looking greener. But the truth of the matter is that I do have 2 comments from very important companies/people. The first one is not so good. The second one is from the guy that I'm sure you love. And I'd love to recap what we have talked on the previous episode with John Barry, who's the CEO and co-founder of Quantify Crypto.
The guy who powers that chart that's right before your eyes. If you guys see that right there.
Yeah, that's the one. Sorry if I'm too loud. I'm not sure.
Oh, no, you're fine, Catherine. You're good.
Okay. So, and let me just recap what he said. He said that the $30,000 level was and is still looking pretty supportive, pretty strong. So we're not going to have a very long-term dip. We might have a dip to 28K, but we're not going to see anything lower because 30K looks very strong. And so he expects the price to go only up from there. And that's obviously about Bitcoin, but he also mentioned that the entire crypto market is going to enter a bull market very soon, that we are at the end of the bearish market. The reason I'm saying that is because we do have a note from JP Morgan. And Aaron, please do not make me pronounce that surname. I will never be able to do that.
No, I want you to. I want you to take a crack at this analyst's name. But before that, touch on the headline real quick so that the audience knows what you're talking about here.
Yes, so JP Morgan analysts do believe that we're going to see a decline in price up to 25K. You just like, I don't know why you're doing this to me. So the leading analyst, Bunny Greed.
Nikolaus
On the internet
Panagristalou.
forever.
I can't pronounce it, but I just wanted you to take one crack at it. No problem.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Nicholas, if you're watching that. We're just not capable to pronounce it. Please come to our show and let us know. And
Yeah, you could tell us how to pronounce it on the show itself.
pronounce it. So, according to JP Morgan strategist, they expect that the selling pressure of Bitcoin is still weak, and despite this week's correction, we are, and I quote, we are reluctant to abandon our negative outlook for Bitcoin and crypto markets more generally. Despite some improvement, our signal remain overall bearish. And so I just want to hear from the chat if you guys are out there, and if you're not criticizing us for everything we do here with Aaron, please let us know if you think that we are finally entering a bull market, or we're going to see some lows and dips before we're going to go high or up. Let us know in the chat, please. So yeah, this is something that we have heard from John Barry, who believes that we're not going to see anything lower. And there you have it, folks. We have JP Morgan analysts, saying that we're going to see a dip up to 25K again. The third person that I'd like to recap today is the one and only Billy Marcus. Aaron, do you remember who that is?
Billy Marcus, he's our favorite guy. You know, he's the creator of something, right? No, I'm kidding. He's the creator of Dogecoin. Of course, we know Billy Marcus.
Yes. So he, again, alongside Jackson Palmer, created the meme-based cryptocurrency back in 2013. So he talked a little bit on Twitter about this current crypto market crash. And I know that we have actually spoken about it earlier. And I myself mentioned that before, that it's not the first time it's happened, and it's not the second time, and it's not going to be the last time it's happened. And this is the correction, and I'm pretty sure this is what you're seeing with stock market as well, right? Because, well, it might not be that high. I know that if an index goes down by 1%, it's crash and it's panic and it's just, oh my god, right? But in crypto space, we see bigger gains and bigger losses. So yeah, Billy Marcus actually took it to Twitter to explain that the current state of events was nothing, and that the history is repeating itself, and especially given the fact that crypto is ruled by FOMO and greed. And I support the same views. Yeah, so he took it to Twitter saying that after a while, people get bored, everything crashes. Most coins, he actually used a lot more colorful expression, that most cryptocurrencies die, and there's panic and blaming, and a lot of boring stupidity.
So, Catherine, just a quick question from the chat. If this comes from Weston Rye, if 90% of all crypto traders lose money, then that means if 90% stay bearish, then does that mean it will go bullish?
Let's do it once again. So if 98% of traders are losing their money, right?
Yeah, so if 90% of all crypto traders lose money, then that means if 90% say bearish, then does that mean it will go bullish?
I'm not sure. Actually, if you think about it, if people continue being bearish, they might sell. And I think that we're only going to go up if we as traders, investors in the crypto community continue to buy, not sell. If you sell, the price is going lower. If you buy, it's going to go higher. So it depends on the mentality. If you keep selling, it's not going to be a bull market. If you keep buying, we're definitely going to see bigger gains and prices going up. I personally think that it's about the mentality, and actually the charts, especially John's, and I love John on our previous show, so we should definitely have him another time. But yeah, I agree with him that the support level looks strong, and the fact is that we survived 20K. 29 actually level, it's actually a pretty good sign. But to answer your question, it's about the mentality, because we don't have anything to back cryptocurrencies with, right? It does not depend on any stimulus checks. It does not depend on inflation, nothing like that. No major factors that might influence the stock market. You can apply them here, so it's a little bit different with the crypto space.
So, Catherine, I want to move us along. Thank you for that
Right.
answer there. I just want to move us along because I know we only have about 4 more minutes, and we have
Oh,
one more thing that we want to cover before we bring on
yeah.
our exclusive guest for you guys. Very interesting. You guys want to stay tuned for this one. But before that, I know we want to go into the top trending cryptocurrencies in America for this week. This is brought to you by CoinMarketCap.
Yes.
And their charts as well. So let's take a look at this and let's analyze the top 10 this week, and let's get into it.
I'm sure you guys are going to be excited about two of them for sure. So can you please make it a little bit bigger so our viewers can see?
Yep.
So yes, I recognize two of them. So the number 8, it's Shiba Inu, and number 10, the one and only Safe Moon. I know you guys have been asking about it, and I refused to talk about it, but we don't have a lot of time. But let's just briefly go through. By the way, do you recognize any of these coins? Do you hodl them? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know which coins you guys are holding in the chat. Which ones you guys are surprised made the list this week. And which ones you are looking forward to being on that list in the next coming weeks.
Yes, please. But I personally do not own any of those coins. Aaron, I think you can say the same.
I do not own any of them, but Baby Doge is kind of piquing my interest. I might have to look into that one, because I like the Doge. Why not get into the Baby Doge?
Okay, so I'm just like, because this is a very important topic for me personally, I'd love to talk about two of the coins right here. So the first one is Happy Coin. Happy Coin, the ticker is Happy. And it's trading right now at around $1.386 cents. Sorry, I need to sleep. And it was launched in April last year, and is a charity token that donates to mental health organizations on a weekly basis.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
like a solid project.
This is a great cause. And
you're right, Weston. Titan Coin, I did hear in the news, I think it was last week, they did crash to 100 or down to $0.
Mhm.
That more, I think there was more to that story there. And you guys are right. And also, yeah, take into note that these are the top trending tokens in the Americas this week, not the top 10 overall. So just take that into consideration.
Yeah, it's not the biggest gainers and or losers of the week. It's just top trending, and the coins that are getting a lot of interest according to CoinMarketCap. So what it means is that people are looking at them, people are spending time on their pages. And one more token that I'd love to, again, like this I'll never stop talking about this, but Live Token is also a token with a great cause, and these are the two that I actually can get behind. So Live Token is a unique cryptocurrencies that raises funds for suicide prevention efforts. In less than a month after launching the project on the Binance network, they raised nearly 1 million USD for the cause. And I feel this is important. Unfortunately, this is not the segment about mental health, but it's about cryptocurrency. But me personally, I love projects that bring value, and that have been around for a while. But those two, I think I can get behind them, because like this is very important for me.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, so look at them, guys, and maybe you can donate to Live Token because it has a great cause. Aaron, something besides dog connected cryptocurrencies are of interest to you?
I don't know. I'll have to go into that list probably later tonight, and I'll have to do a little bit more research into all the coins that made that list this week and see if there's really anything truly, valuable behind them. I know, as you said, with the Happy coin that they, donate to a lot of positive charities. So I'm sure there are more like that out there that I'll need to do more research on. So thank you. That was great. That was a cool list.
Before we're going to introduce the guest, did anyone mention in the chat that they hold any of those tokens?
No, the chat doesn't have any of those tokens. We did get a comment from Ryan D. He will take ADA over that entire list combined. To each his own. Absolutely.
Well, to that person, okay, but also Mike Novogratz, the very famous former Wall Street investor, trader and investor, he said that he does not believe Cardano yet. If you're talking about ADA, right?
Yep.
He does not believe in Cardano yet because Cardano says a lot of things and also says that it's gonna possibly overtake Ethereum, but it hasn't yet, and they don't have a project yet, and a product. So look into that one as well. Okay, I know that people are getting more crazy about ADA, but they don't have a product yet.
Yep.
And so just in case, if you guys want to invest in or trade some of those coins, also let us know in the chat. And now to our guest.
So let's bring on our guest now, or our guest today. His name is Andrew Kiguel. Hopefully I said that last name right. He's the CEO over at tokens.com. If you guys don't know tokens.com, they're a publicly traded blockchain technology company that provides transaction processing and validation services for various digital assets that power DeFi apps and non-fungible token platforms. Here to speak more on that is the man himself. How's it going, Andrew? How are you doing today?
Not bad. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Great.
Glad to have you here.
I just want to add, I don't own any of those tokens that you mentioned either. So,
all right. Well, that's
are you
fair.
interested in
Baby Dodge is interesting. I'm going to look into that.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I got to look into that one as well.
Oh my God. Why? But yeah, I'm just being skeptical, but I don't buy on hype. Anyway, Andrew, thank you so much for joining us today. We don't have a lot of time with you, unfortunately, but we do have a lot of questions, right? So you have experience in investment banking, a huge experience, actually. So could you please let us know how that experience helped you today, and if it helps you at all in the crypto space?
Yeah, no, it definitely helps. So I was an investment banker for 2 decades, and then I got fascinated with Bitcoin initially. And what I saw, this was back in 2016, 2017, is that for the traditional capital markets investors, so the people I was dealing with that hold, Apple and Tesla and everything else, they didn't really have a way of getting access to Bitcoin, and they didn't want to go through the work of buying Bitcoin, creating a cold wallet and wiring money offshore and doing all that. So at the time, we thought the best way to fix that would be to create a Bitcoin miner that held all of its Bitcoin. And we got together with Mike Novogratz, who you guys were just mentioning, Bill Tai, some other blockchain notables, the people at Bitfury, and we created a company called Hut 8. I sort of engineered the banking around that. We raised about $110 million, took it public. And then I left the banking world to become the CEO. And almost as soon as I left the banking world to go become the CEO, crypto winter hit. And so despite that, we built one of the largest Bitcoin miners in the world. It's public. I left there about a year ago, but I still follow the story and talk to the people there. And they just recently listed on the NASDAQ and have about a $500 million market cap. And they've been as high as $1 billion. So a good story there. Yes.
Hut 8. So so going more into Hut 8 there, that was something that you co-founded, one of the largest publicly listed Bitcoin miners in the world, listing market capitalization of 450 million and over 140 million of revenue within the first 24 months. Could you talk about your the mining, the current environmental debate? Are you still involved there? And how did you decide you wanted to find, or how did you decide to found tokenomics?
Yeah, I think you said over 1 billion, right? Valuation right now.
Yeah. So Bitcoin right now has a bit of an optics issue. It's got an image issue right now, and that's because if you go back to 2008, when Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever that he or she was, invented Bitcoin, it was based on creating processing power to mine Bitcoin. And that was really there to add value. So often people are like, oh, Bitcoin doesn't have anything backing it. Well, it does, because it's expensive to mine Bitcoin. You need to expend on hardware, computers, and electricity. But fast forward to today, it's become this industrial thing where nobody's really mining Bitcoin out of their basement anymore, out of their house, because, you know, if you don't have super cheap electricity and you can't afford all the equipment, it just doesn't make sense. You're not going to make money. And if, you know, I often say this, I think if Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever that was to look into the future and say, what is this going to look like in 10, 12 years? I think they would have still thought that people would be doing it from their computers at home. And had they thought that this would be consuming all of this electricity and become so industrial where, you know, I had lunch with somebody else in the sector earlier today, and they said it's like a nuclear arms race amongst the Bitcoin miners, where you're just amassing as much processing power as you can. And it's at competition, and the equipment keeps updating every 3 months. There's, you know, the S19 followed by the S20, but it's a really difficult space. What got me out of the mining was about a year ago. Hold on 1 second. My kids are working from home today. What got me out of it is I said, you know, this consumes a lot of power. Is there an alternative? And that's when I started looking at staking. And staking is a newer technology. Remember, Bitcoin mining is proof of work. The processing power, 12-year-old technology. Things have, you know, they've come up with better things. And today you can do the same work that a miner does through crypto staking. And crypto staking doesn't use really any electricity. It's near zero electricity. And instead of using processing power, you have to buy the token and in a sense use it as collateral to validate the blocks and the transactions. And that's what attracted me and why I started why I started tokens.com. After HUD 8, because I said, I can do the same work. I don't have to buy equipment. I don't have to use any electricity, but I get the same rewards and the same payoff. Plus, I'm holding the token. So if the token appreciates, that's an additional reward that a miner can't offer.
You've actually covered a couple of questions that we had for you, but I'd love to follow up a couple of statements. So first of all, yeah, Bitcoin mining is a huge business right now. How do you feel about the current Bitcoin mining council that has been formed by North American Bitcoin miners and that is led by Michael Saylor in a way? Yeah. Right? How do you feel about that? Is it something that is just a marketing stunt, or they're really going to try and do less damage to the environment?
So I'm going to give you my theory around this. I think it's somewhere between a marketing stunt and sincere wanting to fix this. But let's look at Tesla, because all of this was really instigated by Elon Musk's comments. I'm going to take Bitcoin soars, and then he's like backtracked on it. So Tesla, in my mind, is not a car company. It is a carbon credit reseller. If you look at their financial statements, putting their Bitcoin holdings aside, because they're manufacturing electric cars, the government gives them free carbon credits that they then resell to the other car manufacturers for profit. And if you look at their financial statements in Q1 of this year, the first 3 months of this year, they made $530 million by selling carbon credits to other car manufacturers. Okay?
Oh, wow.
Huge. More money from that than making cars. Now, the theory is, and maybe I'm a conspiracy guy, I don't know, but if the government who's giving them all of this stuff, the government hates Bitcoin. You know, you hear Elizabeth Warren and all these people talking about the energy use and everything else. If there was any risk to Tesla not receiving those free carbon credits that they then resell to the other car companies because they're involved with Bitcoin, they naturally are going to need to backtrack on that. Okay? And so remember, this is the biggest part of Tesla, is reselling these carbon credits to the other car companies. Then I think Elon Musk maybe is looking at the entire Bitcoin mining industry and says, maybe this is an entire new industry that I can start looking to sell carbon credits to, because a lot of them are green, some of them are not. And so when you start piecing this together outside of the rhetoric and what we're hearing in the market, I think there's some other dots that need to be connected to understand what's going on. And so do I think legitimately people want to be mining Bitcoin using clean energy? For sure. Nobody wants to be using coal for anything these days. Do I think that this is a little bit of a publicity stunt because Elon had to backtrack. Michael Saylor owns how many 100,000 Bitcoin, or a tremendous amount of Bitcoin in MicroStrategy. He needs to keep pumping this. He's one of the large faces of Bitcoin right now. He needs to find a solution here, or he's going to be showing massive losses to his shareholders. So I think it's in between. I don't know what's actually going to come out of it. If you are a company that is mining using gas, coal, or anything else that's not environmentally friendly, just because you join this council doesn't mean you're going to shut down your operations and move to another jurisdiction. You just can't.
That is actually a very good theory, and I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. It's something that makes sense. Just one comment on that. Kevin O'Leary, aka Mr. Wonderful, aka Shark Tank investor, he actually said that he believes Musk was pressured by the shareholders to make that statement. So it's also like something out there. Before we're going to talk about tokens.com, have you heard about any blockchains that are eco-friendly, or mining of those cryptocurrencies are more eco-friendly than Bitcoin?
Well, my view is in 3 years, nobody is going to be using proof of work, which is the energy consuming mechanism that Bitcoin, it was developed 12 years ago. It's old technology. There's another problem with proof of work. DeFi is at the forefront of changing everything we do in finance: borrowing, lending, trading. DeFi cannot function properly on proof of work. This is why Ethereum is making a complete shift away from proof of work, processing power, to this collateral consensus mechanism called staking. And so I think in 2-3 years' time, Bitcoin will be the only current cryptocurrency of prominence that people are talking about that still functions on proof of work. If you look at today, you guys were talking about Cardano. We can talk about Polkadot. If you look at what A16Z is doing, Pantera, Polychain, they're not backing anything developed on proof of work anymore. Like, proof of work is like a flip phone. We're now like in the smartphone era. That stuff's done. DeFi doesn't work well on that old system. And if you ask anybody who's using Ethereum, they're complaining about the gas fees, the speed, everything else. Ethereum cannot pivot fast enough to staking. And so back to your question in terms of like, what is clean energy? Anything being developed on staking technology, which is basically everything today, is going to be clean energy. So in 3 years, I think it's going to be Bitcoin that has this really bad image problem that they have to fix. Thus this council that was formed, and everybody else is going to be using staking because clean energy, faster, better throughput. I'll give you one quick example. Proof of work from my research can process 15 transactions per second, 15, okay? Visa, MasterCard, each process about 20 to 25,000 transactions per second.
Yeah.
Proof of stake can do 100,000 transactions per second, 100,000. From 15 to 100,000. Okay, right now, when you're on Ethereum, it's like trying to drink out of a pinhole. It's tough. The fees are high. Once staking is all taken place, you will see that come down. And I think ultimately you'll see a lot of projects being built on things like Ethereum. And I think that, I love Bitcoin and I hold a lot of Bitcoin, but I think the future for Ethereum, if they can switch to staking, the appreciation value there is going to be huge.
And talk about staking. Yeah, talking about staking. Could you tell us a little bit about tokens.com?
Yeah, so tokens.com was a similar idea. When we started Hut 8, we said, how do we get Bitcoin into the hands of the traditional investors? What we've done here with tokens.com is very similar. We raise money from public market investors. So it could be, anybody in your normal brokerage account or electronic trading account. You can buy shares in our company. And then we take shareholder money and we stake. So right now we're staking ETH 2.0. We're staking Binance Coin. We're staking Polkadot and Oasis. We're looking at things like Solana, Cardano, other things to stake. And what that does is, for the person who doesn't want to create an online wallet, they say, you know what, I'm really interested in getting into crypto, but I don't know how. I don't want to research and read all these white papers. Just give me a stock. I can buy it through my broker and I can keep it in my current account where all my money is held. That's what tokens.com is. It's a bridge between that traditional world and the blockchain world. And the blockchains, the foundations really love us as well. So we talk to all the foundations, Cardano, Polkadot. The more we're staking, the more reliable and stable we make their networks. they want to encourage people to stake, right? We're validating transactions on those networks. So they encourage us to keep working with them and to keep staking more. And in the process, we're giving all these no coiners or people who are just like, we don't really care what staking is, but we understand DeFi. We know DeFi and staking are like this. Give us something that we can just buy and put away in our, in our normal stock portfolio, and look at it in 5 years, and hopefully it's gone up by 5,000%.
So just to become a client, a customer of your platform, you need to create an online wallet and then sign up.
No, you just buy your stock. So if you have an online brokerage at Robinhood or any other firm, you just buy our stock. We trade on the stock market, and you just buy our stock. We do the online wallet. We do the security. We do everything. Our user is our stockholder. They don't have to do anything other than buy our stock. They call their broker, or they go online, they look up our ticker symbol, they buy it. We do all the rest of the work. So you can hold our stock with any other publicly traded companies out there, Tesla, Apple, Alphabet, whatever it is, GM, Ford, whatever. You buy us, you put us in with the rest of your portfolio. We do all the work. We relieve the burden for the investor.
Aaron, do we have any questions from the chat? Because I do have
Yeah, we do. We have reached the end of our show. This has been a fantastic conversation. We definitely need to bring you on another time to continue this.
Sure.
Just one quick question from the chat. This comes from SG. I know you talked about Cardano a little bit earlier with us, but he wanted to know your thoughts on Cardano as an investment in technology.
Yeah, so look, Cardano really wants to be one of the replacements for ETH. And really, to me, when you're choosing any coins for the longer term, we want to see who is most closely tied to what's happening in DeFi. Where is DeFi applications being built, or where are they being hosted? Today, ETH has a real huge advantage over everybody. Everything continues to get built on ETH. Cardano is good, but if I'm not mistaken, I think they did their first smart contract very recently. But it's their first smart contract. So I think Cardano has got a massive room for appreciation. People love it. Charles Hoskinson is really smart guy, the guy behind the foundation. But I think it's a longer term play, and it's a function of who else is out there competing with them. There's Solana, there's Binance Coin, there's Polkadot. And so I think Cardano needs to really distinguish themselves beyond what they've done.
Yeah. Aaron, could I possibly ask?
Go for it.
Okay.
Let's end it up first.
Yeah. So we're okay, right, Aaron? So talking about going public, indices and stock, what do you think about Bitcoin ETF this year?
You mean in the US?
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope so. I think that would be the one catalyst that could get things to move. I mean, it's been approved in Canada, and one of our directors is the CEO of 3iQ, which was the first approved fund, and they just got an ETF listed in Dubai. I'm hopeful that, given some of the new people that have been brought in, as Ginsler as head of the SEC there, I'm hopeful that they'll be open-minded about this, and that the United States won't be last to approve the ETFs. And I think that could be a massive catalyst. I don't see Bitcoin moving that much this year without a catalyst like an ETF being approved.
So they just recently declined Van Eck one more time in Valkyrie last night. But yeah, my very last question: what is the concern here about Bitcoin ETF? What it can do to the market or to the regulators that it's so dangerous to approve?
So again, I think what they're saying outwardly is that it has to do with the volatility, and that it can still be used for illegal purposes. I think that's a little bit of BS. I think that governments are still very scared about Bitcoin and its ability to displace the US dollar as the reserve currency, and that they have to be aware, if they approve a Bitcoin ETF, that Bitcoin's going to go from whatever $34,000 20 minutes ago to back to $60,000 or $70,000. And in Canada, when they launched the first Bitcoin funds and ETFs, there's like $1 billion that flowed in the first 24 hours, and that's in Canada. So if you think about the US being kind of 25, 30 times bigger than Canada, whoever that first ETF is that gets approved, they're gonna have like $30 billion a day flooding into this ETF, which has to then go and purchase the Bitcoin. And so I think there's a legitimate fear amongst the government. You have like Elizabeth Warren, who's a very left-leaning politician who hates Bitcoin and the energy use without having done any research. And I think that the SEC is probably under some pressure, similar to what Musk did, which is if they move forward and say, yes, here's the ETF, is there going to be a bunch of pressure coming in from people who say, you've just contributed to more, global warming and electricity use, to displacement of the US dollar?
Yeah, well, yeah, I agree. But just looking forward to this being finally approved. Aaron, what do we got?
That's it. Unfortunately, we have to wrap. I'm getting the cue from our producer who runs the next show. Andrew, thank you so much for being here with us today. Really appreciated your insight on, the entire market, proof of work versus staking. Really love that there. Before you leave, let our audience know where they can reach out to you. Any exciting projects you have coming up, anything like that.
As a public company, I can't disclose much. We have exciting things, but you can go to tokens.com. It's one of the best domain names in crypto that we have, and you can get further information there on our company, where we trade, and news on the business.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Andrew, have a great day.
Thank you so much for
being here. Guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Bye. All right. That was great. Such a great interview. Andrew was a fantastic guest. Definitely we'll have to bring him on in the future so we can continue our conversation. We say this every time, Catherine, but the show needs to be longer than 30 minutes. Has to be, because then we can get the true information, all the insights, all the knowledge, all the juicy details from these executives, and we don't have to cut them off. That is my ultimate dream.
Let's do it longer.
Yeah, no matter how mad Rohan gets at me, maybe we'll do the show longer.
I'm sorry.
But yes, speaking of long, we have run way past our show time. So guys, thank you again for tuning in to another week of Benzinga Crypto. I've been your host, producer Aaron. With me, as always, has been Catherine Ross. Guys, stay tuned. You guys don't have to touch a thing on the screen. It's going to redirect you to the next show that's already going right now. It is Biotech Buzz with the queen of biotech stocks, Vivi, and producer Rohan is also there. So go check out their pretty faces on the next show. Again, you don't have to touch the dial. You don't got to touch a thing. Just stay tuned. And again, thank you, everybody, and have a fantastic weekend. All right. Boom.